Hi guys, it's Alicia here again, and today I have another easy recipe for you. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make cowboy casserole. Now, cowboy casserole is very similar to tater tot casserole. In fact, you might even say it's the same thing. But I found a recipe that I really enjoy and my family enjoys, and it is really easy to make. It doesn't take that much time to make, and it's also pretty budget friendly. And now that we're in fall weather and things are cooling down, I like to make this type of a recipe because it's warm comfort food and it is just the perfect kind of thing to eat on a cold fall day. So let's get started and I will show you how I make my version of cowboy casserole. Okay, so first I'm going to go over the ingredients real quick. First thing you're going to need is a 32-ounce bag of tater tots, frozen. Then you're going to need a pound of ground beef, and I am using fairly lean ground beef. It is 93 lean, 7% fat. Next, you're going to need about 1.5 cups of shredded cheese. Then you're going to need a 15-ounce can of corn, drained. A 10.5 ounce of cream of chicken soup. And I'm using the 98% fat-free type, but you can use just the regular if you want. A 1/3 cup of sour cream. 1/2 cup of milk. A small onion chopped. Then you're going to need about a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. I don't actually measure it, I just shake it in there, but it's probably about 1/2 teaspoon. About a teaspoon of minced garlic, and I'm using the pre-chopped or pre-minced. If you want to use fresh, that's great. I don't have any fresh on hand, and I usually don't anymore because I really like this minced stuff. It lasts quite a while in the fridge, and it's just super easy to use. And then you're going to want a little pepper, and this is just to taste, and again I don't measure, but I'm going to just grind a little bit of pepper, probably about 1/4 teaspoon or so. So that's what you're going to need to make this. So let's get started and I will show you the first thing you're going to do. Okay, so the first thing you want to do before anything is turn your oven on to 375 degrees to preheat. And then you're going to want to get yourself a fairly large skillet, and you're going to turn that on medium-high heat. And since I'm using a leaner ground beef, I went ahead and added about a tablespoon of olive oil so that it doesn't stick to the pan so much. So I'm going to go ahead and add my ground beef to the pan. And I'm going to just break that up. And then I'm going to add my diced onion. And then I'm going to just let this cook for probably roughly 5 minutes. But I will come back when the hamburger is browned and the onions are translucent. Okay, so my hamburger is looking pretty well browned. Onions are looking translucent. So I'm gonna throw in about a teaspoon of minced garlic. And then I'm gonna let that cook for about a minute before I put the rest of my stuff in. Okay, it's been about a minute, and now I'm going to add my corn, soup, cheese, milk, sour cream, and seasonings. And then I'm gonna mix all that together. Cheese, I'm going to just add about a cup of what I have here because I'm going to reserve the rest of it to go on top. Okay, and now I'm going to just stir this all up. And I'm just going to kind of let it cook a little bit until the cheese is all nice and melted. So I'm going to let this just sit here for a minute or so to get nice and melted together. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to prepare my baking dish. And you're going to need a 13x9 casserole dish, and you're going to want to spray it with a cooking spray, and I'm going to use Pam. So I will do that, and then I will show you the next step. Okay, I've got my 13x9 pan here, sprayed. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer of tater tots on the bottom of the pan. And that's going to be roughly half the bag. I'm just going to spread these around evenly. Now if you want, you can cook these. It might yield a crisper result, but I don't mind how it turns out without doing that, and that's just an extra step and an extra dish that I don't want to mess with. So I just go ahead and throw them directly in here as is, just to make my life easier. Okay, so once we've done that and our mixture has been cooking for a little bit and it's nice and all melty, like I said, just about a minute, it doesn't take very long. What we're going to do is we're going to pour this mixture on top of our tater tots. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Scrape it out, get all of it in there. Okay, and now I'm going to kind of smooth this out so that it covers the whole thing. Just like that. And now we're going to take the rest of our tater tots and we're going to put them on top of our beef mixture here. One of the things that I just absolutely love about this recipe is it is very kid friendly. So if you've got picky kids, I've not met a kid that doesn't like this. And you know, it's also just, like I said before, it's a comfort food. It's a great thing to have when the weather starts getting cooler and just wants a nice warm casserole. And this is just so easy and it comes together so quickly, and I would say start to finish it probably takes maybe 45 minutes. And that's including the baking time, which is 20 to 25 minutes. And you're only going to need to cook this until it gets nice and brown, because all the ingredients in your beef mixture are already cooked. So the baking is basically just to get the tater tots cooked and crisp, and the cheese that's going to go on top of this melted. And so that is the next and final step, is to put the rest of your shredded cheese on the top here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Now you can also add, if you want to do more veggies in this besides just the corn, you can also add like green beans or whatever type of vegetable you want, really. I just like keeping it a little more simple. Sometimes I will throw green beans in there, but usually I just do it just like this. Okay, so now that you've got your cheese on there and your oven is preheated, we're going to put this in the oven. And we're gonna bake it, like I said, for probably about 20 to 25 minutes. But I will check on it at 20 and see how it's looking, and then I will be back. Okay guys, it has been about 25 minutes and I've pulled this out and it looks pretty good. As you can see, all the cheese is melted and the tater tots are nice and crispy. So I'm gonna call this good. I will go ahead and plate some of this up and show you what it looks like inside. And here I have it all plated up. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you will try this delicious recipe, and I will see you on the next one.